Good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Got a lot going on today. Today's been a busy morning already. 10 o'clock, and I feel like we packed like 8 hours of work in four already. Um, I took my trip out to the grocery store. Unbelievable. I took a trip to the grocery store, what I've been trying to avoid, to grab a prescription, and they didn't fill the prescription. So I'm gonna have to go back maybe later this weekend. Try to plan out a time when it's not busy. It wasn't busy today, and I know they're overwhelmed, so I'm trying to be compassionate of that. Geez, I don't want to be here, and I came all the way out here. But anyway, so no big deal in the end. You know, and I guess they're changing the guidelines as to whether you should be wearing a mask or not. And it's so much not so much that you need to be not so much that you need to be wearing an N95 mask, but that you could just wear any kind of a cloth mask. And it's not so much to protect you from other people, but to protect other people from you so that your breath doesn't get out there. And they are actually saying that maybe now there is some evidence that it's just expelled from breathing and not only coughing and sneezing. So be careful out there, folks. Got to get through this. Got to get through this. And it's funny, like going as we navigate this. It's funny because we have the past couple of days, although today's a little bit slow. The past couple of days have been some of the busiest days that we've had as a business since this all started. It's like first couple of weeks of March were normal, and then we saw some ups and downs. This past week has been good. I don't know if it's people stocking up before anything, but it's funny, you get different comments and a lot of judgment from people, and so that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because if anybody is coming at me with judgment about the way I do things, knowing that my your best interest is usually at heart with me, anybody coming at me with judgment has not been listening to anything that I've been saying. I mean, really, you're just not hearing my message. And the message is this: be happy with who you are and let other people be who they want to be. All right? As long as they're not hurting you, as long as they're not doing anything that's hurting society, stop judging other people. Let them be and do what the heck they want to do. They don't need your agreement. They don't need you to say, hey, that's okay, good for you. They don't need that. And given everything that's going on between Me Too and like all this stuff, can we stop with the clutching of pearls and oh my Lord? And there's two places this is happening. So the advertising that we have continuing to run, we see comments like, oh, like this is something that we need right now. Yeah, a lot of people do need it right now. A lot of people want to try to get through this in a healthy way. And if they use this as a tool, then I appreciate the fact that they trust in us to use it. Awesome. I appreciate it. I'm humbled by it. I love that we can have a positive impact on people. It's amazing to me. I use it every day. We have so many of you guys that are using it every day. And I love it. I love seeing the comments. But yesterday, now I was careful not to do this on the Define My Day page. I did it on my page, right? Yesterday, I had an afternoon drink. And we've had the best response from that video than any other ones I did, because it was lighter. It was like a, hey, let's screw around in the afternoon type video, which I was very motivated by the comments from that. So it might happen again. That might be our Thursday format for the going period, right? It won't be certainly for a 10 a.m. video that's supposed to be about, building our habits. But for Thursday, sometimes we need to unwind a little bit. So I got an email, and before we get into it, I got an email, and I'm gonna read you that email right now. But good morning, Mary. Good morning, Diana. Good morning, Angel. Good morning, Carrie, Pamela, Levi. I've said Levi and I've said Levi. I'm gonna ask you to tell me the proper pronunciation of your name, because I don't want to butcher it. So please help me with that. Carrie, I said hello to you already. So thank you. You liked it. So a lot of people did, right? But so I got an email, and so the email is this. I'm really disappointed in seeing this video. Really? At this time in our country, and I watch you sit on the video drinking a mixed drink, talking about beer, etc. I couldn't watch anymore. What does that have to do with the product you are selling? Number one, it wasn't on the Define My Day page. I like my Define My Day a lot, but seeing this really turned me off. I couldn't finish watching the video. I guess being a recovered alcoholic for 35 years, I was disgusted by it. Your product is great. This video has totally turned me off to watching other videos. I could not express my thoughts and feelings, or I couldn't not express my thoughts and feelings, especially at the place this world is in. I wish you well, but you've lost a customer over this one. And so look, La Vie. Thank you, La Vie. This email, number one, my entire life right now is about being somebody that I am comfortable with. And as long as I'm operating from a place of authenticity and trying to help other people, then I'm okay with it. And if you don't like it, that has to be okay with me too, right? So if you don't like it, fine. Now, if watching one video turns you off to all of the other content that we put out there, I have to live with that too. Number one, I would ask you to lighten up a little bit, all right? Especially now. Like, can we have a little bit of compassion that not everybody is in the same mindset as you? Not everybody handles everything the same way as you. Now, you say you're a 35-year clean alcoholic, recovering alcoholic. That's incredible. That's amazing. But that doesn't mean that everybody else has to live by the same rules that you do. You've set boundaries for yourself. That's awesome. Everybody should do that. But because we set boundaries for ourselves does not mean that everybody else has to live by those rules. In the product, you say the product is good. I'm assuming that the videos have been good. All of the information we're giving you. So I do one thing that you don't like and you write me off. And you write off our product and our company. That's exactly every day what I've been talking about that's wrong with this country. We give no slack to anybody we disagree with. And that's not okay. That's not okay. Me having a drink at 3 o'clock on a Thursday, knowing everything else that I do day in and day out, does not make me a bad person. It does not make this company a bad company. I'm not promoting anything other than sometimes we need to chill out. And the comments we see on our advertising is like, oh, we need to chill out. We need to be less productive. We need to be like, we don't need to be like always on the go. I agree. But everybody picks out a portion of a message. You know, like they only pick out the one thing that they want to go after instead of listening to the entire message. We can't be this way anymore. If anybody's going to learn anything from right now, it's that we need to back off of each other just a bit. Listen, I'm not mad at you for this message, but this message shows a lot of where you are right now. And I'm asking you gotta be just a little like you can't be here. You can't be here. You gotta let other people live. And so I hope you don't leave. I hope you stick with us. I hope you continue to grow with us because this is all a growing and learning experience, especially now. Things are upside down. We can't be in this place anymore. We cannot be in this place anymore. So I am going to continue on Thursday afternoons to sit down and chill out and have a drink with my people. We had one of the best discussions we've ever had that yesterday. And I got a great response from a lot of people. We need to chill out. So Thursday is going to be Chill Out Thursday or whatever we decide to call it. I don't know. Now, the 10 a.m. sessions are going to be more, about a topic. They're going to be more about like focus and mindset and appreciation and encouragement. But you know what? If you don't want to watch Thursday's video, don't watch it. That's okay. That doesn't mean I have to change where I want to be with it. And that doesn't mean that I have to feel bad about it. I'm not going to feel bad about it. That video was not meant to insult anybody. And if somebody took insult from it, I can't control that. And there are a lot of places in my life where I have to be okay. And it's that nuance where we have to, you need to care about like the people, like you need to care about what people think, but at the same time, you can't take it to a point where it paralyzes you, right? So you have to pick out the people, I guess. And like, it's going to be my wife. It's going to be my kids. It's going to be the broader spectrum of our customers. Like you can't make everybody happy. And if you try to make every single person happy, nobody's going to be happy. In fact, in the business world, that was the biggest frustration with customers. When they would try to put out a marketing message, they would worry more about that one person that wouldn't like it. And so by being, bland, their marketing was bland and it attracted nobody. I want our business to attract good people that don't bring judgment to conversations, people that are focused more on their own personal growth rather than being judgmental and critical of other people's actions. That's our customer base. And maybe I haven't been clear on that, but that's where I want you all to be. I want you to be more focused on yourself than other people, okay? Focus on growing this. And you're going to get feedback from other people, and you have to decide through a filter that you develop whether the input you're receiving is input that you want to take in and absorb and adjust with, or you want to let bounce off of you and go, to somebody else. Because there's always going to be people that give you bad input, even people that you really love. So you have to kind of take it. Like there's a guy, David Meltzer, mentioned, and I don't know if it was something original that he talked about, he came up with himself or he found somewhere else, but you take advice like a handful of sand. You pour sand in your hand and a lot of it's going to fall through your fingers and fall straight to the ground. And you're going to have a couple grains of sand that are still in your hand. And that's the advice that you're going to keep. The rest of it, you're going to just watch flow out. So, that's the way we have to look at life, right? And that's the way we look at it with our business. I try to be empathetic, and you'll see in a lot of our posts, there's people that come at us. And I'm empathetic with all of them because everybody's coming from their own place and they're coming with their own experiences. And we talked about this the other day in the user group, right? Somebody posted something that other people didn't like. We always have to take into account somebody else's point of view. This person has been an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic for 35 years. I appreciate that. That can't be easy. And I'm sure you went through a lot before then. But that you can't paint everybody else with a broad stroke, a broad brush like that. Other people are going to live differently. I'm not an alcoholic. We have bottles of liquor in our cabinet that have been here for 20 years. They're evaporating faster than we can drink them. I'm not going to drinking alcohol is perfectly legal. And I'm not going to feel bad about having a drink in the middle of the day. I'm not. Now, if it gets to be detrimental to my health, let's have a conversation. It's not. All right, I'm going to head into the comments because I've seen a lot of comments flowing through here. So I'm going to see what's going on. So, Levi, I actually was saying your name correctly. And then the more I saw your name, the more I started to think, man, I'm screwing this up. I hope I'm not wrong. So I appreciate the correction or the verification there. Thank you very much. Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Jackie. Let me go through here. Belinda, good morning. Levi, you're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, everyone. Anna, how are you? Mary, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. And look, I don't want her to go away. I want her to understand. I want her to hear the message, right? And it goes back to seek first to understand. I want everyone to be there. Like everybody that's within my circle right now seek first to understand. So when somebody's saying something that you disagree with, understand that they have a different perspective. Let's try to meet them where they are first, and then decide if we're going to just throw it away. Good morning, Deborah. You love the happy hour video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I think it does come down to like lighten up sounds dismissive or something, but that's sort of where I'm at. Like we need to like just back off a bit, you know? Yeah, and it was on my personal page, right? It was on like the like it's facebook.com/defined life. But it's not like the company page. It's like me, like I'm living my defined life, right? So, yeah. Belinda, thank you. Good morning, Janice. Yeah. So be happy with who you are, and it's funny because Mary, I don't feel great with what I do. Like I'm always trying to improve, and I'm probably the most critical of myself in the things that I do. But you know, I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate that statement because, again, I am the most critical. But I think that it's a matter. It's like we keep moving. We keep trying to get better, right? Now, if I have a groundswell of opinion where people say that was absolutely wrong, what you said there was wrong, what you did was wrong, then I have to come back and say, maybe that was wrong. Like there is actually, I got an email. I put out an email months ago, right? That one person that I respect a lot disagreed with what I said in the email. And we went back and forth a couple of times about it. And it's not that I disagreed, but I had to see her perspective and I hope she saw mine. And over time, like my opinion of it was like, okay, so that message needs to be adjusted or changed, or I can't frame it the way that I did, right? And so I can take that. I have to, but it takes conversation, and that's a hard conversation to have. But we have to take the time to do it. And so the email that we're talking about, Mary Kay, you know which one I'm talking about. That has to like I need to be a little bit more sensitive in certain things that I say in the way that I frame it, right? And so that's okay. I might not agree with everything that everybody says, but I can filter it through my own ethics and values and purpose and decide whether, something is misconstrued by a lot of people or just one person. And in the conversation I had with Mary Kay, I disagreed with some of it, but in the end, the overarching conversation made me rethink, whether I would ever want to go there again. And the answer is probably no. So, like I'm not opposed to feedback. I just don't think that we can take all of it and always edit what we do every day with all the feedback we get, because we get too much. And if we're always bouncing off of other people's feedback, we're never going to be who we want to be. Levi, yes. So yes, we have to leave room for each other. I will be putting Chill Out Thursdays on my schedule with an alarm reminder. I need a social group to be okay in right now. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, maybe the name of this is Chill Out Thursdays. That's great. Good morning, Suzanne from sunny Orange Park, Florida. Stay sunny, Nick. We love what you're doing. You helped me define my day. I'm glad. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I did see a message from you this morning, so I'm going to get back to you too, Livy. Thank you. Howdy, what is the subject? Today the subject is judgment, and let's not be judgmental. Michelle, make a difference to so many. You are real, genuine, and transparent and relatable. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah. So, and it's funny because you can see my energy levels in these videos, right? Like yesterday, I was very like I felt introverted or like my energy level was not there. I was way thinking about that thought I had about my kid and the hug and like, so like watching that video back again, I was like much more reserved. I felt it, and it was just, and I'm trying like, and so in the past, like probably months ago now that I'm used to doing these videos every day, I come no matter what, right? But in the past, I probably would have thought to myself, yep, today's not a good day to sit down and talk. So I appreciate you guys giving me a lot of wiggle room there, right? So yesterday was a low energy. Today I was already kind of fired up from running around all day, and then I got that email, and I was like, okay, now I'm real fired up. And even Luann messaged me. She's like, we might have to do a little damage control on this one, and I was like, heck no, we're not doing damage control. This isn't damage control. And I'm Luann. I am sorry to disagree with you, and I know you understand after our conversation. Like there's a like we want to keep our customers happy, certainly, right? But it needs to be done within a space where we are authentic to ourselves as a business and me as the leader of a business. And if the business is attacked based on something that I do or say, I appreciate that, and I don't want any of our customers to feel bad. I don't want them to be upset. But you also have to realize that some people some people get upset. And we had people leave our user group based on comments that happened a couple of days ago by one of the members and a couple of the members, really. And we have to be okay with that. Like some people are just going to, like it's this thing, like we do it as people. When you authentically put yourself out there, people will authentically respond and be attracted to you and want to form a relationship with you. When you put out and some people are not. Some people are going to be repelled. And as long as you're okay with that, as long as you're being authentic to yourself, you will be okay with that because you're going to have really strong bonds with the people that really like you, the authentic you. It's when we put out a facade. It's when we put out a fake us, an us that where we edit who we are, and then we attract people that like the edited version of us. And those relationships will never be strong because when you start to be authentic, people are going to go, wait, who's this person, right? And those relationships, you're not going to feel, even if you don't ever let your real self out, you're not going to feel good about yourself, right? You're not going to feel like you're being authentic, like you're being you. So if you're quirky, if you're goofy, and the relationships that you've formed aren't appreciative of your goofy quirkiness, you're never going to feel good about who you are because you're always trying to play a part. And then when you finally let out that goofiness and somebody goes, whoa, who's this person? Like we all know those people that make like crude sexual jokes, right? And those people, like you ever look at them and go, how do they get away with that? I could never get away with it, right? They get away with it because that's the person they've been forever. Now, society might be telling them to chill that out, right? But the people that they're around right now know that's who they are, right? And they've already decided they're okay with that. So if somebody else who never makes those jokes tries to make that joke, people are going to look at them and go, whoa. Is that really you? Because if it is, I don't know if I'm cool with it. If it's not you, why are we doing it? Right? I mean, so like those are kind of the responses that people have. And there's other examples, right? And so if you've been living a facade, if you've been living, that's a hard thing to break out of when you try to exert or try to put out there, express who you really are. And that's a problem that I've had. That's why I pulled away from so many relationships because I wasn't happy with who I was a few years ago. And I knew that the relationships I had weren't going to let me be who I wanted to be authentically, and I wasn't going to be comfortable with it. So I had to pull back, regroup, reassess, and come back out as a different person. And we've talked about that in recent weeks. That's kind of the advantage of what's going on right now. Like you can really work on yourself now, away from work people, away from certain social relationships that might not be healthy. And you can really explore and examine who you are right now as a person. That's a gift. That's a gift, right? So, I mean, we have a lot of stressors right now. Like this time overall, we really have to search for the good out in it, right? I mean, overall, it's not good. And I'm not trying to paint a rosy picture on a pile of poop, right? But right now, this time, like we have to find the good in it. And part of that for me is the ability for you to be out of that work culture, out of the social culture that you might find oppressive or that you might find yourself editing yourself. Now is the time to really explore who you are, really figure out, what makes me happy. And, who is the person that's going to walk out of my house when they say it's okay to go back out? Who is going to walk out, right? Who is going to be, am I going to be stronger or am I not? So make that decision every day. Who am I going to be? Let's see. Hadi says, I've been in this situation and kind of happy I'm not alone in this. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about surviving. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and it's funny because I mean, there's a lot of people, and I don't know what your specific situation is, but there's a lot of people that um, they find comfort in knowing that they're not alone in things, and I think that's part of this group, right? I mean, like, look, there's a lot of people that are having a drink in the middle of the day, and they like knowing that there's somebody else out there doing it too. We're like, we all have our things that we're going to use to cope, and I think we all have to be cool with that. Um, and I'm going to get into it in a minute here once I get through these comments, but there's other things that we need to take into consideration too. Stacy, keep going for it. Bummed that I missed the 3 p.m. I'm bummed you missed it too. I'm used to seeing you on these now. People really do need to lighten up, especially now. Thank goodness she emailed you instead of slamming you publicly on your page. You never know, that might be coming too. Not to say that she is doing it, but other people, people lash out, right? And some people lash out publicly. I appreciate that she sent me a private email, and I brought it out publicly without stating her name because I want people to realize, like, this happens, and I don't think it's completely cool. Um, I spent a lot of time last month reporting people that were publicly posting on our business page and really harassing us. They were blaming us for the global pandemic. Okay. Sorry that happened, for sure. That's ridiculous. They were also mad that we didn't tell everyone it was coming. That would be impressive to have that kind of power. I agree. On the marketing, I get that too. We had one person who slammed us for 2 years and cost us $40,000 a year. Jeez. Later, that person came back and apologized profusely because they realized they were wrong and that they were in a bad place. It still doesn't undo all the damage they did or the misinformed information a bunch of people have about us. One misguided apple can cause damage. I agree. I very much appreciate you keeping it real and be willing to go out of the box. Thank you. Good choice to put it on a different page. Keep going for it. Yeah, and I'm trying to make sure that we keep that line, right? I mean, I understand that, like, nobody's coming to define my day to talk about day drinking, right? But I can talk about that on my page. I feel a little bit more free to talk about it on my page. But the I bring it here now because I know a lot of you are dealing with how to navigate through people's opinions of you. And so, this is a very clear example of how we need to worry about it. Pamela, everyone has their triggers. One of the many things I like about this group is that we are embracing who we really are and want to be, respect and acknowledgement of each other. Your comments back that. Oh man, I'm starting not to be able to read again. Your comments back that up. You acknowledged her stance on drinking, but still remain true to who you are, and that is exactly right. Like, I am not trying to be unsympathetic to somebody that is an alcoholic, right? I understand there is a major issue there, and a major struggle, and and a lot of people are sensitive to that. But that doesn't mean I have to, like, I can't worry about what everybody else is going through. Last year we had somebody, like, one of my daily disciplines is a caloric intake, right? One of my daily disciplines is to eat healthy and exercise, and I judge my healthy eating based on parameters about what I'm allowed to eat and how much I'm allowed to eat. And somebody sent me a really long, pretty nasty email about, her daughter, I believe, had an eating disorder, and the fact that I would put something like that on here really turned her off to our product. And listen, I'm not like, our product has eat well as a discipline. We allow the customer to define what eating well for them is, but it doesn't change the fact that it is a necessary thing for everybody to eat well. Now, the way I handle it personally, I use as an example very frequently, because I struggle with my health the same way other people do, right? I struggle with eating healthy the same way other people do. And calorie restriction is a healthy way of eating, right? And so, like, we can't dance around every topic because somebody's going to get upset about it, or we would constantly be putting out a very vanilla topic and nobody would understand what we're talking about. So I understand, like, people are going to be turned off and people are never going to want to purchase our product again because I talked about the way I'm handling my diet, or because I had a drink in the middle of a day on a completely different page. Some people are just never going to come back again. And that's a shame because they're missing the overall message. The overall message is to be happy with who you are. And that includes my company. And if I do something that is not authentic and I get blowback on it, then I have to say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, I was wrong there, right? But as long as I'm operating from a place of purpose and a place of value, my values, I have to be okay with what happens. Who am I going to be when it's time to walk out of my house again? Define My Day is really helping with that. Yes. Love it. Love it. Now, I didn't, because of this, because I just read this email like maybe a half an hour before we started this. I didn't come up with my meme of the day today, so I apologize for that. We'll have to. Oh, wait, I do have one, and it's not a funny one. I do have one. We posted it yesterday on the in our Instagram page. But let me see if I have it right now on my computer. I don't, but I will show you on my phone. I can read it to you. Let me cancel that. All right. So, but I do want to show you this photo. This is my kid. So I walked in after coming back from the grocery store and came downstairs, and this is what I came back down to. So our 6-year-old wanted to help Lynn because she was downstairs early in the morning working. So he wanted to help her pack books. So whoever ordered a pink book with a 5-pack of highlighters or colored pens, it looks like, Ryan packed it for you. So I thought that was pretty cool. But so our photo that I want to share with you is this one. Where are you? Here we go. So the title is Maybe She's Born With It. And then it says, maybe it's a learned skill that required time and dedication to develop, but was well worth it. And that the 6 things they put on here were time management, follow through, optimism, mindfulness, effectiveness, and shame resilience. And the last one, shame resilience, because that's what happened in that email. That was a shaming email, right? And even somebody else posted on one of our ads, shameless marketing ploy or something, right? And well, it's funny because the book I'm reading right now is Dare to Lead, where Brene Brown, like, her whole thing is shame, right? When we operate from shame and when we try to shame others, it's not cool, to put it bluntly. And so this is something that we can kind of take to heart at this point right now. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's a learned skill that required time and dedication to develop, but was well worth it. And that includes time management, follow through, optimism, mindfulness, effectiveness, and shame resilience. So, yeah, very apropos of what we're talking about today. It's funny, like, all this stuff, we always have ways to tie in everything that we talk about with everyday events. There's no shortage of things to talk about, which is why I end up sitting here. I'm like, oh, go on for 10 minutes. 35 minutes later, here we go. We're still going. Yes, Debbie, a truthful and authentic message is best, right? As long as you're operating from a place of goodwill. Yeah, I agree. And even the people that even the people that put out bad messages, like they're being authentic to themselves, and they attract people that authentically like that. And so that's how they all get along. Um, Michelle, it's a reset button. Absolutely. Angel says, depending on how long this lasts, many of us might be much better off with a drink every so often. I agree. I'm like, look, we didn't make it a point to grab a bunch of booze before the liquor stores closed in PA, but we're still going to have a drink every so often and just go through the stuff we have in the cabinet. Um, Regarding giving up on a product that works for you because you have a single difference in values with the person who designed it seems foolish. If I applied that to every product, I would probably buy nothing at all. And you're absolutely right. That I mean, like it's but it's that reactive thing that people do. They pick out that thing, like, and they do that with relationships too. Like one person operates differently in one aspect of their life and they write that person off. And if you're always writing people off and you're not giving anybody any leeway, I mean, those relationships are very transactional. And there's not a lot of people that want to be in a relationship that's like that, right? I don't want to have to worry about when I walk into a room that you're judging how I carry myself or what I did yesterday, or nobody wants to live like that. And so those relationships are always like very stressful. Like you imagine like that, like those people that have like the judgmental mom, like that stereotypical judgmental mom. Like they're always trying to show up like how mom wants them, and then they're going off and living a different life because they don't want to disappoint their mom. So yeah, you can't be always worried about what everybody thinks. Mary, oh, for that thing, I will post it in the comments here. Okay, so I'll move it over to my computer and post it in the comments here, Mary. I'm gonna write a note so I remember to do it. Yeah, I'll post that for you. And it might still be in the stories of Define My Days Instagram account. So if you go check out our Instagram account, it's probably still in the story there. Hey Amy, you're late. We had a little bit of drama, so you might want to go back and rewatch. Yeah, we hit some topic today. So the other things I want to talk about is kind of getting down to business just a little bit. And this is about the coronavirus stuff going on right now, because I know some people. Uh, Marcia, I'm going to get to that question in a minute. Let's talk coronavirus details a moment here because I want to make sure we get to it before I get back to you, Marcia. But don't leave; I will get back to you. A couple of good things that I've seen come out of this whole stuff. One is environmental. Like you see stories about like pollution coming out of China and a lot of places now, probably in Europe. I haven't seen anything about Europe, but I know they showed pollution over China from satellite images and how much better that is right now. And so maybe we're giving the world a breather from, and we'll see what kind of impact that has on a positive side of things. I've also seen some images of like wildlife coming back into cities. There was a photo I saw of a wolf walking down a city street. Or maybe it was a coyote. I don't know. It was a big dog. Uh, but so that's pretty cool. But I think the thing that even brought tears to my eyes was at 7 o'clock in New York City around one of the local hospitals. New Yorkers open their windows and like cheer the hospital workers changing shifts. And I thought that was just amazing. The fire department has been rolling up to the hospital, sounding their sirens and lights. And, I think the support that medical personnel are getting from the community is amazing. But it also breaks my heart to see them without the gear that they need. And I have been in the position, and if you've ever been in the unfortunate position of not feeling supported adequately by your employer, it really is stressful. Like when you're already doing a job that is stressful, Like you're already trying to be your best. You're exhausted. You're stressed out. You're watching people die. You're watching people suffer. That's hard enough as it is. But when you also have to take care of yourself and worry about yourself and then going back to your family and that's unimaginable to me. I mean, I've experienced it to a point. I've gone into situations feeling unprepared and feeling resentful toward the people that put me in that position. And it's just not good. It's not good. So is there anything we can do for them right now? I think you demand from anybody you can, whether it's government or the companies that are responsible for it, demand that medical personnel are adequately taken care of. And I think that's like a unified voice that we need to have right now. And I don't know what that even looks like, but we need to demand that these people are taken care of because they're the people taking care of us, right? And they're getting sick because they're finding that viral, like how much you're exposed has an impact on how bad you get this. So if you get like just a little bit and you get a minor infection, your body can fight it. But when you get overloaded by the virus, your body gets overloaded. And so these medical personnel are overloading themselves every time they go into this. And so they have a smaller chance to recover than the average person just going about their daily life. So we need to take care of these people. I mean, if our medical system is overstressed while also losing our medical personnel, we are the ones that are going to suffer from it. And we can't let that happen. Not just for ourselves. I mean, if you want to be selfish about it, then if that's what motivates you, fine. But I have family, that are in this right now, and I can't imagine what they're going through. And then they have to worry about their family bringing it home when they come home. So we got to be sensitive to this. We really do. We need to take care of these people. On the business side of things, there's still a lot of information coming out. Banks are not prepared for this paycheck protection program, and a lot of them are like, I think Chase Bank. I just saw an email that J.P. Morgan Chase has decided not to go forward with this until they get clear guidance from the SBA. So this has been sort of hastily put together, and banks are holding off. So things are going to be a little bit bumpy for people going through these next couple of weeks. And I don't even know, like these paychecks. I saw a headline last night. These government stimulus checks some of them might be delayed for weeks or maybe even months. So things are moving slowly. On a positive side, the University of Pittsburgh may have a cure or a vaccine, so we're looking forward to that. Looking forward to hearing, what medical, breakthroughs are happening. There's another vaccine that I think I saw another company might be working on. It still takes months. It's months down the road, but there's still some positives coming out of this. So that's really, really good. Yeah. So that's my coronavirus break. So, Marcia, coming back to your comment here, I have unfriended people because of hateful talk. Should I refriend them? I'm inclined to say no. So, I have not unfriended a lot of people. I've unfriended people that are just plain nasty. So it depends on where they fall. I unfollow people that I am generally friends with, but hold at arm's length. So in public, if they say something, I might just walk away. I might avoid seeing them too often in public. But if I'm still going to see them socially, if I still want to be on okay terms with this person, I won't unfriend them, but I will unfollow so they don't show up in my feed anymore. And believe me, I have left and right wing wackos in my feed, and like anybody that's too far either direction, I can't be there with them, right? So if somebody can't come to a conversation seeking first to understand or to have a reasonable discussion, then I really just kind of block them out, because you get to the point where there's no rational conversation going to happen. That doesn't mean I want to unfriend them. It just means that I don't want to hear what they have to say all the time. I'm filtering what information I'm taking in, right? So I don't know that you want to go back and refriend everybody. There may be somebody that you think, yeah, I could go back and have a relationship with that person. Maybe you do want to refriend. That's kind of up to you. But I'm more of the I unfriend. Like there have been people that have friended me in the past that then start posting like clearly racist stuff. I unfriend them immediately because I don't even want to be associated, right? So there's definitely a line. Um, if if they're just if they have a really wacky opinion, or if they're really judgmental, if they're really somebody that is just, I can't be exposed to this. They're an okay person. They need to do some work on themselves. I just can't be exposed to it. I just unfollow. Stacy, I've seen a lot of need for coaching around unrealistic expectations that people have in my work with people this week. It's amazing how much lighter they look when you reframe it to a healthy setting. These times are for feeling lighter. I agree. Like we need to take a breath. Take a breath. Pamela says it was Christmas this morning when our back order of hand soap arrived. You have no idea. So we thought we had more than we really did, and we ordered some from an office supply store. And when that box came, it was like we felt lighter. Talk about lightening up. We felt lighter. It was amazing. So now we don't have to feel like we have to ration it. We just take an appropriate amount of soap, which is something when you have a 6-year-old, you really have to talk about. I don't know what this kid's doing with shampoo. He doesn't have that much hair, but we go through shampoo like crazy. So we've been trying to tell him like one squirt of shampoo. We don't need to go. Angel says, when all this happened, I was so glad that I kept forgetting to update my Grove orders, and I had an accidental stockpile. Yeah, right. We're that way with Larabars. So we have an automatic resupply of Larabars from Amazon, and it started to get kind of piled up because we weren't eating them, and now we're really happy we do because the kids are using them as snacks. Totally understand that. That's awesome. Out of cat food and cleaning supplies. Can't wait for that back order. Yeah, right. Like Christmas. All right. And Debbie says, Marcia, it's important to protect yourself and keep toxic folks at arm's length. Yep, absolutely agree. It's definitely okay to create boundaries, but that doesn't mean time won't change things. Be true to your authentic self, and you will do what is right for you. Great message, Debbie. That was a great way of putting that. I think, a lot of people and I think that's the difference between unfriending and unfollowing. So if you unfriend, you're writing them off in a way. So somebody that's, like using my example, somebody that's racist or overly belligerent, right? Then yeah, I might write that person off because I don't know that I believe that they're going to do enough work that we're going to be in a good place to be okay together. But some other people, you kind of have a little bit of compassion and empathy and give them room to grow. And I'll tell you that example in our user group that happened earlier this week, there was somebody that got belligerent and said some nasty stuff to one of our members. And I was on the ban from group button, right? I was ready to go. This person was out in my mind. And then the person he was talking to wrote back like, what? Excuse me? And so they started going back and forth and they made up. Like they apologized, like he apologized and felt bad and like it was a beautiful thing. And the emotional intelligence that this other person showed it was amazing. And so, I don't want to write everybody off all the time, especially though like somebody wrote us off today, right? I think we have to always kind of analyze that and watch, be careful with it. Toxic is the key word, right? Toxic. If somebody's clearly toxic, that's a hard thing to come back from. That takes years of work. So be careful with it. All right. I am going to get rolling. I have a couple of text messages that have been rolling in, and I have some phone calls to make and have to get on with my day. I appreciate all of you guys being here every day. I appreciate your support. Make it a great day. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Talk to you soon. Bye.